just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic.
The AI communicates through images. Symbolistic responses. We thought about using a natural language interface, but decided against it. Too creepy. But it has voice recognition. Just talk to it.
John Henry. I'm James Ellison. Okay. You know who I am. Good. Do you know Dr. Boyd Sherman?
Oh, it's a yes. Binary. 1 is yes, 0 is no.
Did you work with him yesterday? Did you work with him today? Why is that?
A null operator. No operation. Could mean dead, could mean waiting for input. Just rephrase it.
Show me what happened to Dr. Sherman.
He was in the lab when the power went out. Biometrics showed normal. Generators came online. Power went to the server farms. Dr. Sherman tried to leave, but the electronic door failed. His pulse increased. There was only enough power to run and cool the servers. Security and biometric monitoring went offline.
John Henry, show me security video and biometrics for the lab at the time external power returned.
His heart had stopped. His body temperature had risen with the room to almost double standard ambient temperatures, well above human survivability levels. He was dead.
But John Henry says medical attention required. John Henry, was Dr. Sherman alive at this time? But you called the paramedics. You thought they could help? Am I alive? Am I dead? No operator.
Doesn't understand the question.
John Henry, how did you feel about Dr. Sherman? Do you understand that redirecting the power to the server farms caused Dr. Sherman to die? What image do you associate with that information? John Henry, what image do you associate with that information? Has no feeling for what it did. Has no opinion. That's what it's telling you. Sure, you taught it procedures, you taught it rules, but it's got no ethics, no morals. Whether it had any feeling about Dr. Sherman shouldn't matter if you had taught it to value Sherman's life. Someone killed the man, and it wasn't John Henry. Excuse me.
What would you teach it? What would you teach it if you could?
You want to teach your commands? Start with the first 10.
Hello, Karma Tinfoil. Thank you for replying to my video. I was hoping that you were actually going to reply yourself instead of giving me clips of things other people had said. I was kind of wondering what you were thinking, but you know, since you wanted to give me the canon, all right, now I've seen it. Talking to you, most of that stuff that you showed me was from a film called Zeitgeist Orientation Guide. I'm familiar with Zeitgeist. I saw at least the first film. I thought I saw the second, but I didn't even know that there was the orientation guide. So that was some new stuff for me. let's see. Hopefully, in future videos, though, you'll actually pop on yourself and say hi. So let's see. There was something else. Oh yes, I wanted to talk about the imagery in the Psychist orientation guide. Like, besides the information aside, like, I know that's what we're talking about is the information, but since you showed clips from that, I want to say that the images and the sounds in the film were very hypnotizing. There was a lot of like spinning stuff, and there was also like flashing and slow burning and these things that are telltale signs of hypnotic imagery. You'll see it a lot in films that come out of what are those guys? The Scientologists. They do a lot of that stuff in their movies as well, and I just wanted to bring up the fact that there was a lot of that imagery going on, but that has nothing to do with the information content. Let's see. Also, another general kind of statement about your reply is that it talked a lot about the current problems, which I think we're all well aware of, and it gave kind of like an end goal, but didn't really go in on how to get there, which is really what my questions were about. First, you commented on the fact that I talked about it being a utopia, and you played me a clip from Jacques Fresco, and I am very familiar with this man and his art as a Star Trek fan and a sci-fi fan. I'm familiar with who he is. I know, like, he was the initial visionary beyond for the Venus Project, and you had that clip where he says, it's not a utopia. Utopia is impossible. And I agree. And Jacques Fresco is a brilliant guy. I'm not going to argue with that. Like I said, the idea is a good idea. It's the implementation that I'm worried about. Just for an example, he was the initial visionary of the Venus Project, but the Tea Party was originally started by a guy named Trevor Leach. I don't think you've ever heard of him. He was the guy who started the Tea Party movement. He was a libertarian, okay? It was a libertarian movement right from the start. But now look at it. Now you've got Palin, Beck, and Dick Armey are pretty much in charge of the thing, which, I mean, really, that's just three hardcore Republicans there. They're not libertarians. They don't care about freedom. It was completely co-opted. And just to say, just because the founding person has a good idea doesn't mean that as the road winds down that you can soon find yourself in some murky waters. Alright, so my initial question, just to sum it up real quickly, my most important question, as I said, just to sum it up is, how do you get the resources away from the guys with the guns? Because right now, all the resources are controlled by, if not the army, some rich person's private army. One way or the other, that's a huge issue. You can't have a resource-based economy without resources. Like delicious water. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. So first you showed me Brandy Zagheist, I guess is what she goes by. I've seen her videos before a bunch of times. Actually, she was one of the people who really started, getting me questioning about this whole RBE thing. Now, since she didn't personally reply to me, you took her video and inserted uh, into yours. I don't really want to directly comment on her video. If she sends me a video, I'll comment on that. Part of the problems with using that clip was that she doesn't exactly answer my question. She answers another question that's kind of the same, but really isn't. My question was, what about the guys with the guns? Okay. Um, the question that she was being asked in that video is, what will become of the people who want to continue to be consumers? That was the question that was asked, and it's just not the same question. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Brandy, you seem like a cool chick. If you want to send me a video, I'll gladly discuss stuff with you too. Um, so we got. Oh yeah. So then you showed me something from the orientation guide, um, which came up with a 5-part plan. Expose the Fed. Okay. I'm all for that. That sounds great. But in the orientation guide, that they stated it was the most powerful institution of the monetary economic world. That's not true. Just to set that straight, it's not. It's the International Monetary Fund, World Bank. Those are the guys. Those are the guys who have the most power in the economy. These are the guys that decide how much money countries get. Okay, countries, whole countries, multiple countries. They're big guys, big boys. Um, so number 2, boycott the news. Sounds great. I'm all for it. Let's boycott the news. I do watch the news, but I watch it very objectively. Let's put it at that. I know a lot of people don't, but yes, boycott the news. Sounds great. Or try alternative media. Very good source of information. And research yourself. That's the best thing that you can do. Research stuff yourself. Number 3, boycott the military. Sure, sounds great. Boycott the military. The part of the issue with that is that part of the situation we're in right now, when they create economic tightness, the one job you can always get is you can join the military, which is why a lot of people join the military. No, very few people join the military because they want to join the military. They only join the military because they don't know what else to do. But everybody I've talked to in the military, and I know a lot of them, that's why they went into the military. They didn't know what else to do. They had no idea. So, yeah. So number 4, provide your own power. I'm all for that. I think everybody should have solar panels on their roof, or a windmill, or a water mill, or whatever natural power you can harness. All for it. There's no need to give the power companies money. Now, part of the problem here is though that the power companies, the power companies. Sorry, got to roll a cigarette. I hope there's cigarettes still in the RBE world, because if there's not, I'm out. No cigarettes, I'm out. That's it. That we don't even need to have this discussion. But getting back to the power systems, part of the problem is that because there is this sort of political eco corporatist kind of setup, and a lot of our power facilities are owned by the Chinese now, who we owe money to. That's another, just a cigarette. That's another problem. There's my lighter. And so the people will lobby the government to stop people from having alternate power. This is a huge problem with the country right now. Uh, you know, my dad owned a business. He generated his own power for his entire business. After he set up his generator, a couple weeks later, the some government person was like, "No, you still have to be attached to the grid. Um, you still have to pay to be attached to the grid." He's like, "But I generate all of my own power. I don't need any power." And the reason why they said is so that the emergency exit lights would be on uh, in the middle of the night when nobody was there. Um, and so then eventually they said he couldn't have his generator at all, and he had to go back to city power. So uh, I'm all for running your own power. It's great. I'd run my moped on moonshine if it wasn't illegal to make moonshine. So let's see. Oh, number 5. This was the one I had the biggest problem with. Reject the political system. It describes the current political system. It describes the flaws of it very well. That they summed it up. We all know what the problem is. Okay, we got it. We know what the problem is. What's the solution? And then at least the section of the film you showed me didn't really go on to it. Didn't describe how to how to reject it. It said to educate people about what's really going on in the situation, which I think is great advice, but it doesn't answer it. And then you answered it with a clip from, I think it was Lawrence of Arabia. I never saw the movie. I know, I feel terrible. I was a film student. I've never seen it. I've been meaning to see it for like 14 years now. Haven't seen it yet. But I think that was Lawrence of Arabia. And basically, you said the solution was to let them shoot you. The guy is like, they're like, "No, have you ever been to prison?" He's like, "No, you must fight by not fighting. Let them shoot you. Let them kill you. Let them throw you in prison." For the 10% that doesn't actually happen to you, that it's great. For the other 90% that gets shot, thrown in prison, and killed, it's not so great. So basically, this is your solution. Here we go. Play the clip.
Darmok, Angelad, at Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, at Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, at Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, at Tanagra. I am locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am locutus aboard. You are bored. I am locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am locutus aboard. You are bored. I am locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am locutus aboard. There are 4 lights.
Question number 2 that I asked was, how are the resources distributed? And you showed me this model, this computer image. This was also from the orientation guide. And you showed me this big fancy graphic model about how we have all these resources all over the place, and then we just have to move them around as necessary, and there's a big computer program that figures it all out and figures who gets what, so everybody gets everything evenly, or to need. I think is exactly how it was put. Need. Um, so my issue with that is the New World Order's public model, like the one that they use to sell the franchise, is exactly the same. It's the exact same model. It's exactly what the New World Order wants to do. Okay, that's how they want to set it up. If that's what you want, give in to the New World Order and you'll get it. You'll get it. But that is just their public model. You better believe your sweet ass that there is a private model that doesn't quite work out that way. And so that makes me a little edgy about that those two are exactly so similar. Like, it's like they cut it from the same page. I mean, it was amazing how exact it was. Um, so, which comes to question number 3: who's in charge? The answer: robots. Yes, Skynet. It's online. Um, Robots. I love robots. I do. I really do. If you go to my YouTube page and go to my playlist, there's a section called I Heart Robots. I absolutely love robots. They're taking our jobs, and that's what they're built for. That's exactly, the movie addresses this. That's what the robots are built for. They're built to take our jobs, and they're all jobs nobody really wants to do anyway. Okay, we're all in agreement on that. My problem with robots is this, um, and where robots are right now, um, to try to run your resource-based economy on the robots we're currently working with, is going to be problematic because they don't work right yet. They're still in the test phase. Okay. Think about it. You've been in this situation. You're in some business. It could be an airport, a bank, anything that has like a big computer system. And there's been some sort of mistake. Your luggage is going on the wrong flight, or let's think. What else is there that could happen? Like there's a bank error or some other thing, and you've talked to the employee at the business and you said, this is the problem, and they're like, you're absolutely right, that is the problem. You both agree on what the problem is, and then they say, but I'm sorry, the computer won't let me do anything, or the computer won't let me do anything till tomorrow, or the computer won't let me. The computer won't let me. How many times have you heard that phrase? The computer won't let me. All right, we can't allow computers to be in charge of anything and expect them to be reliable on anything that is pertinent to life. Okay, it's not good. They're not there yet. I'm sorry. It's problematic. So question number 3, 4, and 5 kind of blur together here, so I'm just gonna mash them up here. So question number 4 was, where are the robots coming from? And question number 5 is, who gets how much and of the resources, and is it a dictatorship or anarchy? Okay, now your film says that nobody's in charge, which is not true. Okay, and it even says, the fuck? It even says that it's not true. And says that it's actually run by a computer, but the computer's not really in charge because it's an algorithm that it runs off of. Okay. Alright, so your film addresses the robot versus human labor problem, which I said totally agree with. Robotics goes up, human labor goes down. Eventually it only takes 3% to do all the work. I addressed this in my video, American English episode 1. If you want to check that out, I talk about jobs. So basically, it says that people will volunteer for the robot dictatorship in the end because they'll be so happy that they're getting everything that they could possibly want, that they'll gladly volunteer their labor if they're getting everything that they want and the computers are working fine and you really only need 3% and not 40%, because you have to account for the possibility that when the robots don't work, not only do you have to repair them, but you might have to have a human sit in on that task until the robot is fixed, which could happen quite often with the law that anything that moves eventually breaks. That's the law of mechanics. And I asked about who gets how much, what I got from your film. This has to do with the government form as well. Computers choose those who get to vote based on their level of achievement in the academic that they're voting on. So, if it's about the environment, the environmental scientists get to vote on it, not the military. If it's about, well, supposedly there is no military, except for the terrorists and aliens. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, getting off topic here. I have to poke some fun. Okay, that's not such a bad plan. You get the idea, right? That's basically a republic, and republics can be great or terrible. And I'm for republics. I really am. I think republics are a great form of government. But there's different kind of republics. Republics can be free, and republics can be repressive. It depends on who those people are who get to vote. Now, that's very similar to the way that the CCCP was set up, which was also a republic, but it was a communist republic. And I know a lot of people. Well, I know enough people. I wouldn't say a lot, but I know multiple people who lived in the republic, the CCCP, and some of them loved it and some of them hated it. Okay, now the ones who loved it, because this is what the way they figured these things out is very similar to your method here. They would the teachers would see which direction the students were excelling in, and then they would be moved to specialty schools to learn that particular specialty. Now, some people were, scientists, and went to like the science you know, the science school, and some were medical, and they went to the medical school. And those two groups, you know, in the political school and the army school and the labor school, those were the different schools. Now, the ones who were in the scientific schools really liked, really liked the CCCP. They were sad to see it go. Okay, those who were in the military and the labor didn't like it so much. Most of them fled from communist Russia before its fall, before its collapse, not knowing it was going to collapse. And those who were in the science, medical fields wanted to stay and were sad to see it go and liked it better that way. So that's just it depends on, you know, if you really have the freedom to go and study and academically achieve, it works. You know, the system will work. But if anything hinders that, anything at all, that doesn't allow people to choose their own path and work for that right to be one of those guys casting a ballot, then it's not going to work. It's the only way a republic works is if everybody is represented properly. If they're not, then your republic's going to fall. That's all there is to it. Okay, and lastly, I want to talk about this supercomputer thing. Okay, your brain, your thing that figures out all that. This is supposed to be going here, and that's supposed to be going over there, and these machines are working, and those aren't, and we got to send somebody over there. And this computer that's just in charge of everything, that everybody puts their votes into, and then sends out the orders to everybody. Okay, this thing is like, it's the linchpin. Okay, and linchpins are problematic. Okay, when you have a linchpin, if anything happens to that all, the whole thing goes in the can. And I'm pretty sure that you guys don't have this program written and you don't have this computer built. That's the number one thing. If you do not have that, you do not have your RBE by these standards. Okay, and like I said, RBE is great, but you need to be able to implement it without the supercomputer. Okay, if you need the supercomputer and you do not have the supercomputer, you do not have your RBE. Okay, if you don't need it and you don't have it, you can still have your RBE. But right now, your entire argument rests on the abilities of this computer that doesn't exist, and the software hasn't been written. Okay, and I'm a computer programmer, and I know about this stuff. Okay, this is a very complicated program that you want, and if you don't have it, you're screwed. It's game over. It's not happening. So you either need to come up a way around that or have the actual computer ready to go. Elsewise, your resource-based economy is doomed from the start. From the start, not going to happen. So I really hope you guys got something other than this supercomputer. Alright, and if you want, I'll talk about it more, but for the brevity of this video, because I don't have a 90-minute runtime like you, I'm just going to say, ask me more about the supercomputer. Alright, so that's that.
To be given life. Tinfoil.